Oh, I swear, the word merge must mean race in some other language. I don't know. I don't understand why the concept of merging is so difficult for Americans. I just don't get it. I mean, anywhere there is a merge, what do people do? They get right up on the bumper of the person in front of them. If they're moving like at 20 miles per hour, or if they're crawling at a standstill, there's no space. No. We don't do space, right? We get right up on their ass. So everybody's an inch off of everybody else's bumper. You would think that with the hundreds of people merging in, if not thousands of people merging in situations like these all over the country, that at least a couple people would get it. You can't have a zipper with two solid lines. It doesn't work. So what happens to traffic? Everybody stops. You know, it's because everybody has to be first. It's a race. It's like, just leave space. It's not hard. Once you get up to the place where the lane is ending, purposely leave space. I leave enough space for 2 or 3 trucks to get in. And I never have to stop. I keep rolling. I mean, it's not a hard concept. If everybody would back the frickin' hell off the car in front of them when they get to the merge point, and not give a shit if they're behind or in front of that person, everybody would move quicker. I mean, it's not rocket science. Why do people not get that? It'll baffle me until I die. I just don't get it. And while I'm on the merge subject, I also get a kick out of these people that want to play traffic police. You know the ones I'm talking about. Like, the left lane is ending, so everybody piles into the right lane, and they're all stopped, and there's this huge long line in the right lane, and that's fine. If you want to do that, that's great, nothing wrong with it. But of course, invariably, you'll have people coming up the left-hand lane, which is empty well before the merge, and okay, that is a lane of traffic. It's a lane of traffic for everybody's use until the merge point, and then it ceases to be a lane of traffic, right? So, people think, oh, that's awfully rude, they're cutting in line and stuff. I don't know, maybe, but does it matter? It's like, now I get over it, right? But I don't get pissed off at the people coming by on the left. Far from it. I leave space for them. If they decide they want to merge in right now and not have to wait all the way up there, then fine, they can get right ahead of me, because I'm leaving 2 or 3 truck lengths ahead of me. And if they don't, they want to keep going all the way up to the merge point, you know what? It's a free country. This is America. It's a lane of traffic. You do you. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with merging at the point of the merge. That's where it merges, right? So, and then you get these guys squawking on the CB like, oh, that guy's cutting in line, asshole, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why is it an asshole? And who's cutting in a line? It's traffic. We have elected to stay in the right lane that is now a parking lot. That's our choice. We chose that lane. And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. The person coming on the left decided not to choose that lane. And they have a wide open lane of traffic. They're legally allowed to use it. And nobody should stop them from using it. And these assholes that swing out and want to block them, they want to play traffic police. It's like, first of all, you're not a law enforcement officer, all right? So, Sheriff Bucky, take a chill and get the hell over and stop trying to play police officer, because you're not a police officer. That person has every right to use that lane. So if you're the one swinging out to block them, guess what? You're the asshole. You're in the wrong. Now, just because you disagree with that person, you have a right to disagree. You have a right to get angry. You have a right to do anything, whatever, but you can't block a lane of traffic. That's not allowed. That's illegal. You can't block traffic. So, the stupidity is just astounding. It's not a race. And who gives a shit who's in front of whom? And I guarantee you, a half hour down the road, none of it's going to make any freaking difference whatsoever. At all. I mean, it's silly. It's like we're a bunch of, 5-year-olds that didn't get enough nap time. Jeez. Anyway, I've had too much sugar. I gotta stop eating these sweet tarts. Damn it, they're like kids' crack. I can't stop. Well, to further and possibly illustrate my point, this truck ahead of us, Transport America, is governed at 65 miles per hour. He is currently doing 65 miles per hour. I'm watching him on my radar. My truck is governed at 70 miles per hour. So I got 5 miles per hour on him as far as the governed speed of the truck. That guy, when I was in the right-hand lane at a complete stop at that merge waiting, he came blasting by on the left-hand side. And he went all the way up, and I'm thinking it was at least a half, if not 3/4 of a mile up until he merged. Or she. I don't know. I don't know if it's a male or female driver. I don't know. But here I am, a few miles later. This person merged well ahead of me. At least a half, if not 3/4 of a mile ahead, because he came up the left-hand lane. And here I'm passing him. Does it matter? It's like that merge point is miles behind us now, long since forgotten. Now, had I been sitting there getting aggravated, pissed off, swinging out in the lane, getting on the CB, making a big ruckus out of what a jerk he is and all of this stuff, who's the loser? I would be the loser, because I'd be getting all stressed out and all pissed off about absolutely nothing. The guy driving that truck did absolutely nothing wrong. He used an available lane of traffic until that lane of traffic ceased to exist and needed to merge, and he merged. Where's the harm? And I just passed him. Now, does that mean I'm winning the race? No, it means my truck is governed 5 miles per hour faster than his. And depending on where I stop or where he stops or where I exit or where, it makes no flipping difference. You understand the point. So keep that in mind the next time you get all huffy and in a bunch about somebody using a left-hand free lane or right hand, whichever the case may be, the merging lane, the lane that's going to disappear. If you get yourself all aggravated or concerned about that, remember this point and just chill out and don't get yourself all aggravated, because it's absolutely, completely, utterly meaningless. It has zero effect on your day until you let it have an effect on your day. It's wasted negative energy. It's just meaningless. So anyway, we're going to continue to enjoy the drive. Well, time for another PSA, as I was just reminded a few moments ago of a subject that's super important for keeping people safe, and a lot of what we call four-wheelers. And when truck drivers refer to four-wheelers, we are referring not just to cars that have four wheels, we are also referring to every other vehicle that is not a semi-truck. So the term four-wheelers also means pickup trucks, Hell, sometimes box trucks, U-Haul vans, you name it, they're all four-wheelers. They're non-semi-commercial truck drivers. And anyway, my point, I had a guy, as I was passing a slower moving car, literally on my back bumper of my trailer, like he was magnetically attached to the ass end of my trailer. Then as I come finally passing this car, he's one of those guys that's, doing that, back and forth thing so I can see him in the mirror that he's in a hurry, right? As if your, little 3,000 pound car is gonna push my 70,000 plus semi truck any faster. So note to all you four-wheelers, it doesn't matter how close you get up on our ass ends. You're not going to make us go faster. Ain't happening. So all you're doing, my point, because it doesn't annoy me or anything, but it bothers me in the sense that the person doing it has no idea how much danger they're putting themselves into. Because being that close to the back end of a semi-trailer, you have 8 tires back there. And those 8 tires are huge. Next time you have a chance to get up close and personal with the semi-truck, I would encourage you to walk over and just get close to it. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to monkey with it. As a matter of fact, don't, because the driver's likely to take your head off. But just walk over to it and have a look and get up next to those tires. I mean, you see trucks all the time, so it's no big deal. You don't pay attention. But believe me, when you're not used to being physically close to them, when you walk up to a semi-truck and see how huge those tires are, and then consider the fact that those trailer tires are filled with 100 psi of air pressure. Now, to give you a little bit of a feel for what that is, your car tires, most modern cars that are on the road today, it used to be about 32 pounds of pressure was the norm. Well, tire technology has increased. Fuel economy has been an issue. There's been all sorts of technological and design advancements in cars. Most car tires on the market right now are inflated to 35 psi. That's running average. You start getting into performance cars, lower profile tires, yada yada, and some of them can be close to 40, some of them can actually be over 40, but give or take a pound or two either way, they're about 35 psi. 35 pounds per square inch in a car tire, if you've ever seen one blow, that's quite a bit of energy that they pack. It's quite a bang. Now imagine the semi-truck. You're talking 100 psi in a tire that's like twice as big. That's a shit ton of pressure in an enormous pressure vessel, which that tire is. It is a pressure vessel, just like a pressure cooker, right? When those things blow, they don't just fizzle. They blow with some force. There is a very loud bang. They sound like a rifle shot. And they pop with a tremendous force. Now also, when you are at the back end of a semi-trailer, if you're ever able to just get up close, I would ask you to take a very close look at the mud flaps. And you'll see those big old mud flaps on there. They look innocuous and harmless enough. They're just rubber sheets, flaps. I mean, they're 5-10 pounds, something like that. They're not like hugely heavy or anything, but they're big mud flaps, right? What's more important, though, is the bracket that they're attached to. More often than not, it is a steel beam that is essentially in an L shape. It's equidistant sides in an L shape, in a 90-degree curve. And it's steel that they are bolted onto. And the reason that I bring that up, and the reason that I would want you to look at that, is because that steel does weigh something. And with the mud flap attached to it, you now have a good 20 pounds or more of that steel brace and the mud flap. Just the section that's holding the mud flap, not the whole thing all the way across, just that section. If you were to saw it off right there with the mud flap, that's what I'm talking about. Visualize that. Go take a look at it. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because it does happen. It is not a rare event. It happens more often than people realize, that when a truck blows a tire, when the trailer blows a tire, sometimes when that tread comes off of that tire that's spinning at 55, 60, 70 miles per hour, that tread has an enormous weight to it too. I mean, that's heavy. Those truck tires are heavy. That is a very heavy, solid chunk of rubber. And that thing is flying off at 70 mile per hour velocity. And what it can do, and it does oftentimes, it can literally shear that hanger bracket with that mud flap clean off. I mean a clean break, like somebody took an axe and chopped it off. And guess where that mud flap and hanger bracket go when that happens? They fly backwards. And if that thing flies backwards and you're riding right up on the ass end of that trailer, if that thing hits your windshield in front of you, you are dead. It will go through your face. It will kill you. They go through windshields all the time. It's not that unusual for that to happen. The tire tread that I mentioned that could shear that bracket and mud flap, let's say it doesn't, but it can also kick out the back end. And if that big hunk of rubber, you see them on the side of the highway all the time, sometimes it's like the whole tread has come off. If that thing comes flying out at 50, 60, 70 miles per hour into your windshield, it's going through the windshield. It also can kill you. So riding up onto the ass end of a trailer of a truck is an incredibly stupid thing to do. Because number one, you are not going to get that truck to move any faster. I guarantee you that. That is not happening. That truck is going as fast as it's going for a reason. You are not going to alter it. Period, end of subject. Never in the dawn of automobiles and trucks, since the dawn of automobiles and trucks, never once has a car getting up on the ass end of a trailer aggressively caused a truck driver or that truck to move faster. That's not happening. So getting up on that ass end, really dumb. And those dangers of shit flying off the back of the trailer are also one of the reasons why we don't like to get back into the right lane directly in front of a car. It's a stupid thing to do because you're putting that car driver in danger when you do that. So we like to give some distance. With semi-trucks, the name of the game when it comes to safety, the name of the game is distance. You want to keep distance. And that's for a reason. It's not just for collisions and all of that stuff. It's because these are enormous machines with a lot of moving parts, and those moving parts are very, very heavy, and they can become projectile missiles that can kill people. That's another major reason why you want to keep distance from a semi-truck. People that ride along the side, they come up in the left lane and they sit there again like they're magnetically attracted, and they sit right on the side of your axles, on your drive axles, on your steer axle, on your trailer axle. They just sit there. Again, if one of those tires blows, and comes through at your car, it's going right through the glass. That glass is going to be like a sheet of paper. It's going to come through and it could kill you. Another important point, the front end of the truck. The front tires we call steer tires because that's the steer axle, right? So the front tires are what steer the truck. Duh, right? So we refer to them as steer tires. Well, any truck driver will tell you that one of the most dreaded things that can happen to you while driving a truck is having a steer tire blowout. Because look at the height of that tire, all right? The height of that tire is a good 6 to 8 inches of sidewall height of that tire. Okay, so now not only do you have the explosive force of that tire, and by the way, the steer tires are usually at 120 psi, so they're even higher pressure. So not only do you have the explosive danger, the shrapnel, for lack of a better word, danger of tread tire parts flying off at high rates of speed and huge velocity. The other danger is that as soon as that tire blows, the truck immediately goes down that 6 to 8 inches. It just, boom, it sits down on that one corner. And what that does is it grabs it and whips it to the side that the tire blew out. So if that right tire blows, it's going to want to whip the truck to the right. Consequently, if the left one blows, it's going to want to whip that truck to the left. And if that driver is not prepared for that to happen, you'll notice when I drive, even if I have one hand only on the wheel, which I frequently do, my other hand is very close to that wheel at all times, if not resting on the wheel at all times. The reason for that is for a front tire blowout. Because if that steer tire blows, that truck instantly is going to lunge to whatever side blew. And if you don't have control of that wheel, you are going out of control. That's when trucks end up in a ditch. That's also when a truck, if you're in the left lane sitting next to it, being clueless, just I'm going to pace a semi-truck. I'm going to sit right next to it. Well, down this entire length of the truck, anywhere that you would be sitting with a car, if that left front steer tire blew and I wasn't paying attention, and unfortunately there are truck drivers that aren't paying attention and they're not ready for it, and that thing blows, that truck instantly is coming into your lane. It will drive right over the top of you. You won't even know what hit you. So stay away from trucks to keep yourself safe. Give them distance. When they're passing somebody, give them time to get well out ahead. Believe me, they don't want to be in the left lane. We do not like being in the left lane. We get in the left lane to pass only when we need to, and we get the hell over when we're done. Except there are some knuckleheads that do sit in the left lane, but they're very much a rare exception compared to the vast majority of truck drivers. We don't want to be in that lane. We do our business, we pass, and then we want to get over as quick as it's safe to do so. Key word there, safe, when it's safe to do so. That means distance. Don't be one of these assholes that comes off and wants to pass on the right. Because if that driver isn't watching his mirrors at the exact moment you do that, he's coming right over the top of you, and there's not a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it. And if you lay on your horn, he may or may not hear you. And he may or may not see you. And if he doesn't hear you and doesn't see you, he's either going to run you off the road or he's going to run right over the top of you and kill you. So don't do that. It's not worth it. Just give them room, give them time. They'll get back over. You can be on your merry way. And just like merging, so you had to wait a little bit for him to get over. Is it going to affect the rest of your day? No. It's not going to have any impact whatsoever on the rest of your day or you getting where you're going. If you make one of those critical mistakes, that could be a very bad day. That could actually be a final day. And don't make your family have to go to a closed casket funeral because you were being stupid. So, that's just another food for thought. Stay safe around trucks, folks.